Hi, Liana. Derek Thomas, Monday Morning Critic. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So, coming off of Scream and now based on a true story, you kind of find yourself in villainous territory in like multiple projects, right? Some love to be in the sphere of villainy, like we look at like Christopher Waltz and Anthony Hopkins. Are you cautious about what side of morality your characters are on for current or future projects?
No,
Well,
not
right
at
to the
all. No, not at all. I think that it's really interesting to explore all aspects and all opinions and characters and how they approach this sort of material. Ultimately, my goal as an actor is to justify my behavior and justify my choices and find like the humanness in all of them. And I mean, my character in Scream is very different than my character in
yeah,
Tori, and that's
yeah.
fun. It's fun to get a new challenge and a new character and explore that.
Yeah, and other interviews, that's a great answer, by the way. In other interviews, I've heard you say how much, you love horror, right? So I feel like when it comes to horror, I love like the Haunting of Hill House. I like the Sixth Sense, the ones that aren't like Halloween, where it's just somebody killing people throughout the whole entire movies. I feel like, based on a true story, does the same thing with comedy, where it's not horror with heart, it's horror with comedy, and it's that black area that I really love, that black comedy area. It's a really fun ride. Do you like being in that environment as an actor? Does it provide like a new change for you?
I do. Yeah, it's made me think about things in a very different way. I think that, you're right. Most horror movies you associate with horror and heart and the comedy, the horror comedy world it's very different.
Very different.
And it's really fun. I think that, I was thinking about it a lot today, and I think our show specifically really leans into, and I think this is probably why our audience, at least why I like the show, is it sort of indulges your intrusive thoughts. Like, what if I did that? What if
Huh.
I and what if I dated the serial killer? Or
Yeah.
what if I found that guy attractive? Or what if I went home with him? Or and it's obviously comedic and fun, but our characters are making crazy decisions, like such off the wall choices. And they're not choices that most people allow themselves to make in real life. So that's fun to explore.
Yeah, it's that's another great answer, and it's funny that you say that about your character because Collider, the entertainment website, did a 1 through 10 list based on likability. Do you know where they had your character? One being most likable. Do you know where they had your character?
No.
They had your character at 1 because they said she's often the adult in the room when it comes to these people that are a mess and beyond themselves. She is the adult in the room, wise beyond her years. Do you agree with? And I guess if you agree with it, that makes I'm setting you up here to sound arrogant, and I'm really not trying to. But
Wow. First of all, I need to look at that interview. That's very interesting. I do agree in season one, and that I think that's a testament to our writers in season one and season two. I mean, I'm just doing what I'm told and trying to play as truthful of a human as I can. And I think season two that is very much challenged, and such is the nuance of life, there's a lot of layers and gray areas to feelings and choices that you make. And I think Tori is thrown this curveball of falling in love with someone that isn't likable and isn't a good person, and she has to navigate that. So I'm curious to see where she would land in the next season, but I mean, hopefully she's still likable by the end.
well, where I got nervous was like, oh my god, I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to tell her that she's number one. Then I looked down the list, and Matt was 3. I'm like, what? Like, so, but I guess so. I wanted to ask you. You've done a lot of characters. A lot of these great Kim and If I Stay, and so many wonderful characters. Long after you've done parts, whether it's here, wherever, do characters stay with you long after the project has concluded, or maybe while you're currently doing a project? Do you find you're thinking about a character, or even ways to make the character deeper, evolved, what have you?
I think that certain preparation choices stay with me, but it's hard because, you know, who you're working across from greatly affects your approach to a character and to a scene. And so I'd like to say, of course, all of my experiences as an actor has, you know, lend to my choices and my experiences now. But that is one thing that I love about this job is that it demands something new from me every time I walk on a set. But I think more than anything, throughout my career, I've learned to just have a loose grip on my life and just enjoy the ride.
Liana, it's been really wonderful watching you evolve as an actor, and I love the ride. And thank you for that. And you're absolutely terrific on the show. Thank you for this.